You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Well, I want to talk to you this morning just about cell receptivity. Big word, but what are your cells receptive to? And one of the things that insulin does is that it can either make your cells very receptive to insulin or resist insulin. So cell receptivity is very important in the body to train your cells in a different direction. Let me give you an example. Number one, breast cancer, okay? So breast cancer cells are 6 times more receptive than normal cells to sugar, okay? So breast cancer cells are very, very receptive to sugar. That's incredible, right? When you think about it. So, you know, they always talk about cancer treatments and whatever, but think about that. Breast cancer cells, ladies, are 6 times more receptive than any other cell in your body to sugar. Now, we've been talking about that a long time, but let me just give you another one. Breast cancer cells, ladies, are 10 times more receptive, 6 times to sugar, and 10 times more receptive to estrogen. Estrogen. So let's use our common sense here for a minute. Okay? And men, prostate cancer, one of the things that men need to understand, prostate cancer and breast cancer are identical twins. They really are. Whatever happens in a woman with breast cancer, and I realize some men can get breast cancer, it's more common today than it used to be, but we don't talk about that very much. Because, 99.9% of people that ever get breast cancer are women. But prostate cancer and breast cancer, and I've talked about this on previous videos and teachings, is that prostate cancer and breast cancer are similar, identical twins in terms of cancer. So let's just go over this again because it's very, very significant when you think about it. Breast cancers and prostate cancer cells are 6 times more. Now, we know all cells are receptive to sugar, but when a cell becomes cancerous, breast cancer and prostate cancer in men, 6 times more receptive to sugar. So is diet significant when it comes to cancer? Absolutely. It's significant. I sometimes have to hold myself back from having, a conniption because I'll hear, people in different fields are saying, sugar, you guys, you're exaggerating. And then I talk about the PET scan. The PET scan is an MRI on steroids, okay? The PET scan is imaging specifically for cancer. It's unbelievable. How does it work? You get a cup of sugar, radioactive sugar, glucose, before you get the scan. That's how the PET scan works. But sugar's got nothing to do with cancer. Cancer needs fuel, and sugar is fuels it. So if you do nothing else, I tell my patients, like, if you're going through chemo and radiation or whatever, don't let them give you boost at the hospital or whatever, because that's just going to boost your chances of getting cancer. It's full of sugar. And so is Ensure. It'll ensure that your cancer grows. It's unbelievable. They give you that. They have a Tim Hortons at our cancer center. Now, the coffee's all right, but it's all those Timbits. The donuts. You want to fatten up a mouse? Give him a donut. That's chow. Rat chow, they call it. Guys, so 6 times more receptive, prostate cancer and breast cancer, 6 times more receptive to sugar. 10 times, those cells are 10 times more receptive to estrogen. And so it's important, ladies, men, get your estrogen down. In women, you need to make sure your progesterone levels and your estrogen levels are equal. You need to dim those estrogen levels down. Men, you need to dim the estrogen down. And in men, how you do that is you elevate your testosterone. That's why yesterday we talked about vitamin E, exercise. And specifically, ladies and men, weight-bearing exercises, resistant exercises. Why? Because it elevates your testosterone. When your testosterone goes up, men, your estrogen goes down. That's the problem. What was I saying yesterday? Somewhere like around 80% of the men in North America do not have optimal levels of testosterone. And most physicians don't even check for it. They don't test testosterone. And a lot of men don't have enough testosterone. If you're falling asleep, men, when you see a couch and you start sleeping, your testosterone's low. It's one of the signs. You don't get enough vitamin D from the sun. Testosterone's low. You don't get enough zinc and selenium in red meat. Your testosterone's going to be low. So think of the receptivity of cells, okay? And the other one, I don't want to go into it today, but your cells are either very sensitive to insulin, which is a good thing. You want them to be sensitive to insulin so that you don't need much insulin. But most people are insulin resistant and their cells resist insulin. But insulin will do its job and it will secrete more and more and more and more and more insulin. And diabetes is a disorder of insulin resistance. It's not sugar, it's insulin. Sugars cause it. Crappy carbohydrates cause it. So when you think of receptivity of cells, I could go into a real teaching because I could talk to you about the receptivity of your cells to vitamin D. Every cell in your body needs vitamin D to function properly. It'll function, but it's not going to function properly without good levels of vitamin D. So cancer cells, breast cancer cells, are 6 times more receptive to sugar, 10 times more receptive to estrogen. Ladies, men, 6 times more. Prostate cancer cells are 6 times more receptive to sugar and 10 times more receptive to estrogen. Dim it out. Dim that estrogen out. That's why our hormonal formula. I take hormonal formula. Like women think it's only for them. No, for men. I want to knock my estrogen down. And I want to elevate my testosterone. The more testosterone a man has, the better he does. He needs to optimize his testosterone. And that's another teaching altogether that we'll do at some other time. Okay, thanks for watching. Love you guys.
You've reached the end of another Doctor is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.